and welcome to another episode of Relationship Alive. This is your host, Neil Sattin. It's Thanksgiving week here in the US, and if you're busy like me, you might not have a lot of time to listen to this week's episode. So I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, and make sure that it's still useful for you. Before I dive in, though, there are two things that I'd like to ask you. The first is, has the Relationship Alive podcast helped you in any way since you've been listening? If so, I would love to hear from you, just to find out a little bit more about what's been helpful. You can talk about a specific episode. You can talk about changes you've seen in your relationship or in your quest for relationship. Whatever it is, I would love to hear from you. So you can send me an email. My email address is Neilius, Neilius, at neilsattin.com. And my last name is spelled SATTIN.com. Well, the .com isn't part of my last name, but I didn't want you to forget that part. If you send me an email, just put the word feedback in the subject line so that I know what your email is about. And I can't promise that I will respond to each and every one of your emails, but I will definitely read it, and it may impact what I choose to do for future episodes. So please do let me know. I would love to hear from you. And I have to say that one of the most meaningful aspects of having the Relationship Alive podcast is when I hear from you. And I get a chance to see exactly what kind of impact these episodes are having on your life. So please drop me a line. The second question I had was whether or not you've had a chance to download my free guide yet. It's called The Single Most Powerful Thing That Can Make or Break Your Relationship. And it's available on my website, neilsattin.com. All you have to do is go there and click the Send Me the Action Plan button and follow the instructions to get a link to download the free guide. Or you can text the word relationship to the number 33444, and follow the instructions, and I will send you a link to my free guide. All right, let's dive in. As I mentioned, it's Thanksgiving week, and when I think about Thanksgiving, I immediately think about giving thanks. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Now, for me, this isn't something that I do just this week. In fact, the practice of gratitude, or as I like to say, having an attitude of gratitude, is actually an important part of my daily and weekly routine. It's something that I've strived to cultivate in my life, and I will tell you why. Before I do, let me just say how grateful I am for you, for your listening to the podcast, for your putting things into practice when they strike you as useful, for your telling your friends, whether in person or sharing episodes on Facebook. Everything you do has been really amazing for me to help me get the word out about the podcast, to know that I'm having an impact. And I just wanted to take this moment to say thank you to you. So thanks. Now, why is gratitude so important? Well, for one thing, we live in a world where it is so easy to feel like there's not enough. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough love, not enough connection, not enough fun, not enough joy. You get the point. It's so easy to go there. And it doesn't take too much in your life to feel that little bit of trigger or something that sends you down the tubes. And you've probably gotten the sense, if you're a regular listener, that I'm a diehard optimist. So it generally takes a lot to fully send me in a downward spiral. But it can happen. But even when it's not happening, the question is, how do we move from this sense of scarcity, like there's just not enough, to a sense of abundance, like there is plenty and more, where that came from? And the most powerful tool for doing that, for making that shift, is through having a practice of gratitude. Now, we already talked about having a nightly gratitude practice with your partner where you just each share 3 appreciations with each other before you go to bed. So something you appreciate about your partner. And that's, of course, such a powerful practice. And I've actually heard from many listeners that they've put that into practice and seen huge results. So if you haven't tried it yet, please do. So that's one way, but what about just having a general feeling of gratitude that permeates your life? My suggestion to you is this. Make it a point during your day, and if it's helpful for you, you might choose the same time every day, or you might say, okay, when I sit down for lunch, or when I'm on my evening commute back from the office, or whatever it is, when I'm making dinner for my family, you get the point. It's helpful to just have a marker so you know exactly when you're going to do this. So decide when you're going to do it. And after you've decided, take a few minutes to just focus on all the things that you're grateful for in your life. It's great if many of those things involve your partner because you want to focus on the positive and allow that to get amplified and grow. So as much as you can include things you're grateful for in your partner, things that you appreciate, that's great. But I'm talking also about a more general practice because a more general practice will affect your general state of being. And whether it's your partner's experience of you or your coworkers or your parents, whatever it is, I can tell you that people are going to be much more happy to be around you if you're imbued with this sense of gratitude for what's in your life. So gratitude for the connection you feel, gratitude for whatever technology allows you to listen to podcasts or get to work or stay connected with the people that are important to you. Grateful for your circumstances, grateful for the bad things that haven't happened to you, grateful for the lessons you've learned from the ones that have. You get the point. It's really not that hard when you stop and think to find that silver lining, the thing that you can be grateful for in just about anything. And it may not be hard because you may have a lot once you sit and start thinking about it, a lot to be grateful for. It's not a problem if you repeat things day after day. So if today you're grateful that the world is still turning and the sun is still coming up in the morning and setting at night so you can see those beautiful supermoons, then by all means, be thankful for that every single day. Because it will remind you that every single day there is plenty going on in your world that you can be grateful for. That shows you just how much life is showing up to work for you. You're still alive, right? You're still listening to this show. You're still breathing. You're still feeling your body in the world. Although if you're listening to this from the beyond, that's cool too. Come let me know in my dreams or something like that. Anyhow, you get the point. If you're here listening, alive, breathing, even if times are tough, there's something to be grateful for, that you have the experience to turn things around, to see just what else is possible on this journey of life. You get a chance to explore, to meet new people, to really get to know again and again the people that are already in your life with that sense of curiosity. So take time every day to be grateful and make it a practice and just see if you could do that for a solid month. See how things shift for you. And when you've done that, that's another good time to drop me a line and let me know. Again, my email address is Neilius, Neilius @neilsattin.com. I hope to hear from you. If you're here in the US, have a great Thanksgiving day and week. And I look forward to being with you next week when we will have a visit from Chris Seiter of Ex-Boyfriend Recovery Project and Ex-Girlfriend Recovery Project. It's an interesting interview that I thought might give a little bit of a different twist to the podcast. He has secret tips for getting back an ex. Now, you may or may not want to get your ex back, but the things that he talks about are valuable even in your current relationship. So I look forward to having him here for you to hear from, and it's going to be a fun conversation with Chris. Until then, take care. I'm so thankful for you spending the time with me every week, and I will hopefully hear from you soon. Also, remember to join us in the Relationship Alive community on Facebook if you haven't yet. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you next week.